Okay, so I bought some things to do like melee weapon art projects with, and this was the first one. It's kind of hard to see because of the reflection, but this is a polycarbonate riot shield. It's pretty bitchin'. You could paint this however you wanted. I painted this with my own logo and some like roadie colors because it's bitchin'. I don't know how well this would do with metal weapons, but I'm guessing it would last at least a while. And I wanted to have a shield, and these are $60. And if you're like me and a weirdo and just wanted to have a shield, like, this is perfect. And my thought is basically for anything inside of a house, you don't need a shield bigger than this. And all this does is like keep you safe from melee weapons, in theory, while you like use your own melee weapons. I just made this thing. This is the other thing we're going to talk about in a minute. I'll finish talking about the shield first. These are $60 on eBay. You can find these, just Google round riot shield and look for the ones that aren't in China. There are ones that are cheaper than $60, but they're not shipped in the US, and you don't want that given what's going on. They come with this foam and Kydex kind of pad on it. And these things on the front are bolts. The covers come off and there's screws underneath there, and they just screw into the handle and into some nuts back here. So like pretty much anyone could do this. It's just some bolts and screws. And then the paint, I got Krylon, and I did the pattern I wanted in some, what's it called? Masking tape. And then I did one color, then I removed the tape, and then I sprayed the other color. And I waited a while for it to dry, but it apparently didn't dry all the way, and it did this crazy cool crackle pattern. I think it's pretty dope. I like the inside more than the outside, to be honest with you. But I think this is going to be really cool. If nothing else, you can hang this up in your gun room and you have a cool shield. And the other thing I was thinking about is you can paint this thing like Captain America. Because like this thing is about the size of a Captain America shield. And could you imagine this painted like the Captain America shield? I should probably just go into the business of making those. But it seems like a silly thing when you could just go buy these and do them yourself. This literally took me 15-20 minutes worth of, taping up and painting, and then I just had to let it dry. Anyway, that is the shield. There's not too much to say about a shield, I guess. But I think if you do need a shield, that's probably the one you're going to need in a modern context. The other thing I got was a buckler. If you want to see a video on that, I did a video called 21st Century Sword and Buckler. And you can see the buckler I bought. It's a cold steel. It is cheaper. A buckler, for those not in the know, is a tiny, like one-handed shield. This thing is a gardening tool, and it came with a blunt tip on it, and I slowly but surely ground all that off with a little belt grinder. This is $8. And the grinder that I modified it with is like $30 at Harbor Freight. So almost anyone could have that grinder. And then you could make yourself a pair of these. And to be honest, I might spend a little bit more than $8. This is an Echo one, and I bought this mostly to do grass stuff with, but I wanted it to be a weapon also. And as such, I rolled it in 100-mile-an-hour tape here and here. I drilled a hole for a lanyard because it's that kind of a weapon. I did a little bit of tiger stripe because I wanted that on there. And then I did vet wrap on the top and bottom. And I'm thinking a pair of these would be really cool, but I wanted this in my gardening tools. Plus it looks cool with like the fucking like shield and swords and samurai armor and shit to have like ninja weapons. So if I can make cheap ass ninja weapons just to have in my armory, I'm gonna do that just for the LOLs of it. It's kind of like the shield. Like at this point, like I'm building a Highlander style room of fucking weapons, I guess. It's gonna be cool. I kind of figure the rest of the world's going crazy. I might as well just do what I want to do. And what I want to do is have my own land and have a bunch of weapons and grow my own food. Seems like the thing to do. I'm going to keep doing projects like this and give you guys ideas on, cheap, fun weapons that you can fucking build yourself. That's what I'm into. And I think that's what a lot of this channel is eventually going to be, is this kind of stuff where I've taken, a set of tools and supplies that most people would have and have done a project with them. Maybe eventually, when we get the blacksmith set up again, we start doing projects that you don't necessarily have the supplies to do. But for now, while I am shop limited, this is a pretty cool project, and most people could do this. You just have to be careful on the temperature you get this, because it's so thin. You have to have a cup of water there and keep dunking it in the water, and then grind a little bit and dunk it in the water and grind a little bit and dunk it in the water and grind a little bit. It's tedious. You will regret choosing this option, but it's cheap. I really like this thing. I think the juice was worth the squeeze, personally. There was a thing on Amazon that said specifically, this is not a karate weapon. Don't order it for that. I hate to tell you, if you sharpen the end of it and reinforce this joint with 100-mile-an-hour tape and vet wrap, yeah, it's a karate weapon. You could totally fuck somebody up with this. It might not last more than 3 or 4 uses, but it would last more than one. I can tell you that much. This would definitely not break the first time you used it. It would break the third time you used it. It's a single-use weapon then. That's kind of how I look at it. It's a gardening tool that in an emergency, it's set up to be used as a weapon. There's going to be a lot of that. Everything in my, car's tool bag is probably going to have this logic applied to it at some point, except for screwdrivers, something basic. That shield is literally the coolest thing I think I've ever made. And it only costs $60. Spray paint is awesome. Thanks for watching.